like my understanding of sexual assault and domestic violence and the resources and support regarding that has always been, law enforcement or, shelters. Like I didn't really have a larger understanding of the different kind of tools or resources that are out there for people. And so when I found out that if somebody came into the hospital after experience, a critical moment and you can call someone to come in and support you, whether that be holding your hand, walking you through a case, helping you file a police report, I was like, this is extraordinary. I didn't know that people could be supported like that. I just thought everybody went through that alone. I just thought you're alone. Half the time I didn't even think people went to the hospital to begin with if something like that happened. I just, from my understanding, it was like, okay, they just keep it to themselves. Because when it happened to me, I just kept it to myself.
Our crisis services now are very clear, unique in that we have a drop-in center and we have 24/7 crisis line. We also provide sexual assault through a sexual assault and response team. We go to the hospitals and work with law enforcement, and we also do stabilization with housing. So crisis is what we do.
We advocate for victims of sexual assault, abuse, intimate partner violence, and human trafficking. So we literally go out on calls to hospitals, and we really try to advocate for victims to help them regain a sense of their personal power back, because of course that has all been taken away due to the assault itself.
We're there for survivors through sexual assault forensic exams, if they decide to get an exam, police interviews if they decide to report to the police, doing safety planning, finding emergency housing, kind of any of the immediate concerns after survivors come to the hospital.
So we're fortunate to have that partnership with St. Louis City Police Department, and that is where our crisis advocate sits at the police department.
I work with the sex crimes unit directly, so whenever a victim comes into the law enforcement headquarters to report a sexual assault, I get to be there to support them, to provide advocacy for them. I can sit in on the law enforcement interview and make sure that they feel supported and have the resources that they need to do so.
There has to be something that connects. For anybody that's listening to this, what the advocates do and what the staff do when they are supporting them, it is intense, because no one wants to think that when I go into the hospital, what you see, nobody wants to see that or know that another human being has experienced something so traumatic.
I realized that I needed help and I couldn't figure out how to get that help. I didn't know who to go to for that help, and I just had all of these feelings of shame and just being completely overwhelmed. And for a year I didn't talk about it.
A lot of times when somebody has been sexually assaulted, as a means of survival, they disassociate from what's happening. And to me, it's letting them know that that's a normal reaction. It's normal to disassociate. It's normal to kind of try to remove yourself as a means of safety and retract to that primitive part of your brain.
The first experience that you have after a sexual assault is going to be the most determinative of your healing process, because having somebody there to say, unequivocally, I believe you, I'm here for you. The only thing that I am here to do in this moment is to be here for you and to support you through whatever you need. How can we do that? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to not talk about it? Do you have any questions for me? Is anything that anybody told you confusing?
There are times when I leave a hospital and I leave crying. There are times where I leave and I feel like I've really been able to get in there and help. And there are times when I leave where I feel like I didn't do much at all. But I know on the inside, I know my why, because I am one of these women. And I know that even if I sit there for 5 minutes and they tell me to leave, or if I sit there for 4 hours, it's something to be able to say, I'm here, whatever you need, I'm here, and I can be an ear, I can be a voice, whatever you need.
Once my job is done as the volunteer at the initial contact it is the YWCA that steps right in and takes over and make sure they really try to walk with our clients through every part of the process to let them know that they are not alone and that they are here to help 24 hours a day, practically 7 days a week.
Every person that is in the room knows of someone, have experienced it in their family life. I mean, you may have experienced it when you were in college. You may have experienced it through a relative, but all of us know someone. 1 in 5 women are raped. 44% have had some amount of sexual violence other than rape against them. We all have to know that. If you look around in the room at your table, 1 in 5 women have experienced rape. 1 in 5.
I think if you're a woman, odds are you've experienced some kind of sexual assault. That's what we're learning. I personally have never experienced a rape, but I have had friends that have, and friends that have been in hard situations. And I want to be a part of something where women are empowered with their options.
Still a lot for an organization to do, and that's why it's so important that we continue to grow and to do more work like this across the nation. But like, I just didn't know that there were so many different ways to take care of people, and that there was a tangible resource, an actual place, actual people that could help you get to that. I don't know, it just always seems like the kind of world that we're in, like everything's so virtual and everything is behind a screen. And so like interacting with people even in a moment of crisis makes all of the difference.